as soon as I put those two together, my skills with my passion, it was like, boom. People started coming to me. I met my next business partner, then my third business partner, then my fourth business partner, and then we added team members. And it was just like, it just became magnetic. It was like, I loved it so much, and they felt that. And then it's crazy because now my team members almost love what I've created more than I do. And I'm kidding, but like, it's insane to see everybody's passion about how they're so protective over this group we've created, this website. And because they've poured their heart and souls into this. And one of our guys is getting out in November, and he literally wants to do he wants to run our company or help me run our company full time like that. And so, creating that was, I don't want to say planning, because there's planning as we go. Every single step, like the marketing, I obsess about because we want to get the word out farther. Every single lesson we make, every single video we make, we started obsessing about. We started planning each step out, and we have a long-term vision of where we want to go now. But I would say the first half year or year even, we're just a little bit over a year old now. It was kind of, we just, as opportunities presented themselves, we're like, oh, maybe we'll integrate this aspect, or maybe we'll show people how to do this now, and it just kind of spun out of control. Like what I thought was just going to be a standard group of lessons, like 25 video lessons on how to invest in real estate, became so much more. And the club is awesome. And just seeing people close on properties while on deployment or in Okinawa, Japan, and they've never seen the thing, and they're comfortable with it because they ran the numbers inside and out, and they saw the property like pictures, and they saw what the renovations were done. I'm going way off topic of what you're asking. Your basic question was, what was the planning? And honestly, in the beginning, was not a lot of planning because I didn't know this was all going to happen. I just wanted to create a website with a course that educated people, and maybe I could make some income off of that. And I didn't really know how, other than maybe selling the course for super cheap, which is what we do. Like there's $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 programs. Ours is very, very inexpensive, and it's really just to cover our system's costs, and then we have fun. It's a club, so yeah. And I apologize, not a lot of planning. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, I would certainly, for most people, would caution against, just jumping in the deep end of the pool, because when you were mentioning, it just kind of went crazy. That's sort of to be expected if you don't have something planned ahead of time. But
Yeah.
I'm certainly glad that things have been in a positive direction for you.
Yeah.
And you've been able to sort of rein that in and sort of get that tamed a little bit, tame that beast.
Yeah, and
like I say, you never know if it's just going to explode on you, and if you don't have that roadmap, so to speak, then
right. And like I said, we do a lot better. We do a lot more planning now that we're just, we're actually a revenue producing company, and we have had people close on properties. Again, I don't want to say that we get these people properties. We help them find them, and then they have to invest in them on their own. But now there's a lot of planning involved. And I will say one thing that is very, very important is communication with the team. And I know everybody says that, but I found technical ways or like with modern technology to do that very easily. So if any of your listeners are just starting up a company, they want to figure out what the best way to talk with their team is, a couple of ways I would recommend, if you don't mind. I'm not affiliated with these companies, just what I love using. One is Slack Messenger. Imagine like iMessage or Facebook Messenger or whatever, but it is its own forum with threads, and you can add team members, and you can decide who sees what, and you have all these like different threads for different topics, and you can tag each other. It's like its own little social network and forum for just your company. It's so much fun. And that's a huge element of our success is Slack, is because we're just able to, we don't email each other anymore. Like when I have to email something, it's literally just because I need to make something a little more official, or it's going outside of our communication networks. Like Slack is really how we communicate. And it's wonderful because we can search through it. Everything's organized in the threads and the topics, and it's beautiful. Another thing now that we just discovered, and this is actually kind of, but it's called Voxer. And this is something that's really cool because we love, sometimes, okay, how should I put it? Sometimes I don't have time to write down all my thoughts. Sometimes I've actually found myself doing a video message from my phone and uploading that and sending it to my guys. Voxer just lets you, kind of like an iMessage on the phone, you just kind of click the microphone button and you send the audio message. Voxer is that and Slack combined. You just tap the walkie-talkie button, you just say what you think, and then everybody on the other end hears it. And it just went crazy. Like, we just started talking with each other that way because you don't have to stand somewhere on the phone and spend an hour conversation. You could just say your 1 or 2 minute thought, and then it gets to your entire group, and then they just respond. And actually a lot of consulting companies started using Voxer this way because it's wonderful. It if you don't want to spend your hours and hours a month talking to your consulting clients on their schedule, you can just have them send you audio messages. When you have time, you get back to them. And it's still just as personal as a phone conversation, but it fits both people's schedules. Mm-hmm. Another tool is Asana. Now, Asana, A-S-A-N-A, is what we use for project management. It's like our checklist, to-do list, and it's also super social. Like, you can tag team members and reassign dates and make tasks within tasks, and you can have a timeline, and it has an app and it's on the web, and it's just beautiful. Like, all these things are just making our company seem like a 20-person operation when it's really just, a handful of us. Those are definitely force multipliers. And I would definitely, and I can talk about online systems and automation and all that forever, but I think maybe we can have that's a different podcast episode. But basically I feel like I've kind of mastered the art of running a company with very, very little time and people, and kind of automating things, like automating emails, automating chatbots, like sending, triggering certain occurrence, like when something happens, triggering a certain automation after that. Because then you just seem a lot more sophisticated when you have all that done.
Yeah, and another one, when you were mentioning Slack, that popped up in my mind that I have actually used within my practice was Yammer. That I believe Microsoft put that out, and it was sort of a Facebook-ish type thing. So it had that similar social media type feel, but you're able to set up your departments and so forth within that. And it was just a really awesome tool to be able to, as long as you all use the same email extension, which mine was the same through my email service. So you had the same email extension, then everybody is under one company organization, and it's really cool to have your own private social media network. And it's amazing. Makes it really, really well. And you can upload and download documents back and forth and have resources available there that's out in the cloud. So it just makes working so much easier.
Agree. It's fantastic. And actually, so Slack is where we run our club too. So when people join the course, we then give them a private invitation to Slack and into the Start the Spark workspace. And all of a sudden they see all the messages, and it's super, super intimate and private. So it's your own little social network. It's your own little Facebook. That being said, we're actually going to be moving on to a different system maybe, but I'm not going to get into that. There's something really cool coming down the road. But guys, also not only real estate, if you ever want to reach out to me about just, business, online business principles, automation and software, I can talk your ear off about that.
Something, that's so important is, especially when you're starting a business, is, having mentorship. Just having mentors out there that have done what you want to do. They've achieved what you want to achieve and have reached the place that you want to get to. When you have those type of relationships, you can't put a dollar value on that, because Yeah, they've already seen all the problems that you're going to be seeing, and they can save you so many steps because, yes, success happens through failure, but the best kind of experience is somebody else's failure. It hurts a lot less. And so if you can learn from what somebody else has already done,
absolutely right.
Then, and so, mentorship, and that sounds like, really, Markian, what this Start the Spark thing, with the club that you're talking about, kind of what that is, it's being able to be, part of a mentorship group to where people can, share that knowledge and experience. I dealt with this and this is what I did. And so other people can learn from that, masterminding, if you will. And
absolutely.
It's huge because I can't say enough about mastermind groups. And in fact, I'm starting up one with, the group that we're both part of, that to be masterminds for other business people and even non-business people. Just mastermind as far as I dealt with this situation and this is how I handled it, and save somebody some steps, save them a lot of headaches and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And that was the whole purpose behind the club, because a lot of times, it's just like when you go to school, you have all the material, but sometimes you just want to ask a teacher a question. And I don't even see myself as like an educator or a teacher. It's kind of a weird thing for me to say because I never thought that was going to happen, even though maybe that's what this whole company is morphed into. And it's really an educational platform more than just, hey, this is how I did it. Like, hey, how can I help you? But as far like I also have my own mentors, by the way. Like I didn't do all this on my own, and that's why, for example, I made so many mistakes down the road, and until I actually joined a club here in Southern California where it's just like up, and I found a rental property through them. Until that happened, I didn't actually have a rental property of my own. I tried to get a bunch, and I made a bunch of mistakes, and I knew what not to do. And I felt I felt oversaturated with education. Like I knew almost too much. And I was like, I need to get a rental property. And like, I didn't even want to start the website until I had one closed on, because I was like, I could give people all the advice on all the mistakes I've made, but I need to lead by example. So I got one rental property because now that I had this group and everybody like just kind of helped me just align the pieces and get a turnkey property, boom, did that. Then a couple of months later, me and my parents closed on the multifamily property. And that's when I kind of launched the course and everything was already set. It's like everything just fell into place. Mentorship. Like, so basically that club kind of helped me mentor me just making it happen finally, or just giving me an easier solution to trying to just do it on my own. And then also like, as far as the website and the whole, our company, I remember when I started it, I was thinking, hey, I'm going to teach people how to invest in real estate and how to do online business and marketing. And a mentor of mine pulled me back. He was like, hey, don't start teaching people how to do online business and marketing and stuff because you haven't mastered it yet. I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Like, I'm really good at this, that, and the other thing. He's like, yeah, but are you done with establishing a company? Have you like completely set it up? It's existed for 2 years. It's monetized very well. Have you done that already? I was like, no, but I understand how to do this, that, and the other thing. He's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, you don't have the credibility yet. And he's like, you might be really good at everything you're going to teach people, but until you've like actually done those things, it's like, don't teach people. It's like real estate, you're doing it every day. He's like, you've done it. You've been there. You've done that. You've made the mistakes. You've had the successes. Teach people only about that. Maybe down the road, you can teach people how to do, how to build an online business. And I'm getting to that point where now I'm like, wow, this real estate thing, this educational platform is working out. I've built it using all the online principles that I have learned about. So now in maybe a year or two, I might actually open up a whole course. I'm like, hey, how do you create an online business while in the military? And that's going to be a whole other thing for me down the road, because now I have created it. I've done a proof of concept, and I've taught people about things that I actually do every day. And now I can recycle all of that knowledge, that entire experience on how I created that system, and show people how to create systems like that.
Sure.
So I guess